Hello everyone, Jim Latimer on WHIN bringing you play-by-play of Westmoreland High School football. Midway point of the season. Tonight, Terry McCormick and myself will be bringing you play-by-play as the Eagles take on Joe Byrns, the Red Devils of Joe Byrns. Eagles come in with a record of 2-2. Joe Byrns comes in with a record of 4-1. The Eagles won the kickoff, the opening coin toss, but deferred to the second half, so they'll be kicking away. And they are now spotting the ball to send it downfield. Kicking it away for Westmoreland, Quentin Sizemore. He waits the whistle. Here he comes downfield. This will be a short blooper taken by one of the up men on the bounce, and he slides down at about the 37-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for the Joe Byrns Red Devils. Joe Byrns moving from right to left on your radio dial. Eagles tonight dressed in their white road uniforms, red helmets, red numerals, red stripe. Joe Byrns dressed in the red uniforms with the red helmet, white striping, and white insignia. They'll send two men wide to the left-hand side. From the shotgun, their quarterbacks, number 9, Colin Richards. He hands off to the first man through, cuts up into the line. He makes his way forward past the 40 to about the 41-yard line before he's downed at that point. And coming in to make the tackle on him for Westmoreland was number 4, Mason Gregory. So Gregory's played some tough games the last few weeks. Eagles trying to rebound off that loss last week to Trousdale County. This will bring up a second down and 6. 2 left, single to the right. Backs flank the quarterback, and he hands off right-hand side. First man through, he's got some room. He's to the 40.
Big hole there for number 13, just right through just off the right guard there, past the Eagle defense into the secondary before Westmoreland can make the tackle. Finally brought down at the 47 of the Eagles.
That's Eric Herring, Terry. And it'll be first down. 11-11 left to go in this first quarter of action. Ball is spotted on the 47-yard line of Westmoreland. Richards has him in the huddle. He'll split out wide to the left-hand side, Tyran Douglas. Wide to the right-hand side, Jacob Saya. Here's the snap. Hands off to the running back. He drives up the middle. That's Eric Herring on the carry right there.
Yeah.
Down and 4 as the ball is spotted at the 40-yard line of Westmoreland. Bringing them back to it, Colin Richards. Backs flank him. Here's the snap. Hands off to Herring once more. Herring bounces around the outside, then is driven down. Sloan finishes him off. Coming in to make the initial hit on him was Drew Gregory. So Gregory makes that initial hit, and then Sloan finishes him off, and it'll be a 4th down. 4th down and 4. The ball is spotted at the 42-yard line on Westmoreland's side of the field.
Hey, sideline.
Looks like Robertson may be the punter too. And they may go for this. They are going for it. Or actually, he's going to punt this one away. Here it comes. Going to punt it away. And down the field he comes, taken by the Eagles. Back the other way with it, and down to about the 15-yard line on that return. That was McLennan on the return for Westmoreland.
Hey, trying to catch us. Are you slanting?
8:36 left to go in this first quarter of action. No score as of yet. This will be the Eagles' first offensive possession of the night. They're moving from left to right on your radio dial. Jim Latimer and Terry McCormick on WHIN. Eagles trying to get back in the winning column here. Echo brings him to the line. McClendon splits wide to the left-hand side. Turn, hands off, sweeping to the right-hand side. That's Sloan. Sloan pops through and gets to about the 25-yard line before he's brought down, maybe just a little bit short of there. So power running on the right-hand side for Westmoreland. 8:24 left to go as the clock runs in this first quarter of action. This is the Eagles' first offensive series of the night. Gain of, that time, 8 yards on that first down run. Echo brings them back. McClendon in tight on the right-hand side. Man in motion coming to the right-hand side. And this will be thrown over there in the direction of Mizrahi, but cannot reel him in. So Mizrahi could not get his hands on the ball for the Eagles to bring up a 3rd down and 2. No score. 7:53 left to go in the first quarter of action.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not letting me connect.
Eagles facing the 3rd and 2. Here's the handoff coming right-hand side. That's Sloan, and he should have enough to get the first down over on the right-hand side following his blocking. So a nice run by Tate Sloan. Over on the left-hand side, the man who made the tackle that time is Jacob Barnhart. The ball for Westmoreland is on the 32-yard line on their side of the field. Eckel will split wide to the right-hand side. Sloan slotted to the right. Rainey gets the ball up the middle and pushes his way forward, gets to about the 35 before he's brought down.
Oh, okay, that's it.
7:19 as the clock runs left to go in this first quarter of action. The Eagles facing a 2nd down and 10, or actually 2nd and 7, as they now spotted on there. So a gain of 3 on that first down run.
See where 25 going now?
McClendon wide left. Eckel looks the line over. Pitch back, right-hand side, cutting up into the middle, still on his feet, and driving forward. That is Rainey, and helmets fly off. He gets up to about the 42-yard line. There's a flag on the field. We'll see what that flag is for. .6:47 as the clock runs left to go in the first quarter of action. Jim Latimer and Terry McCormick on the call of tonight's action. 2nd and 7 for Westmoreland. They'll march the ball back on this penalty, though. And it'll move it back to the 32-yard line of Westmoreland. It'll be 2nd and 10 now. Eckel turns. It's a reverse back the other way with Mizrahi's got it, but he's not going to be able to pick up anything. Eagles trying to reverse it back to the left-hand side of the field. He gets back to about the 30-yard line. 6:30 as the clock runs. Westmoreland versus Joe Byrns. Clock at 6:15 left to go in the first quarter. Here come the Eagles back to the line. Eckel facing a 3rd down and 10. McClendon out wide to the left. Eckel's going to keep it around the right-hand side. Still getting to the outside and pushes his way up to about the 42-yard line before he's brought down by Teron Douglas.
Look, you're right there at the post.
It's tight, folks. We'll see if he got it or not. And the Eagles fans applaud and say he did get it. So 1st down 10 Westmoreland. 5:53 left to go in the quarter. The ball is spotted at the 42-yard line on the Eagles' side of the field. Eckel brings the play back into the huddle. McClendon will split wide to the left-hand side.
Blue ones, some green ones, and some yellow ones.
Rainey directly behind Eckel. Looks, throws left-hand side. He's got McClendon, and he can't hold on to the ball.
Down low.
He hit him, and I believe he was looking downfield before he reeled the ball in.
Okay.
And it popped free, and it'll be a second down and 10 for Westmoreland.
Some of those Vista 7, 8, or 10 XP is not supported.
5:38 as the clock runs left to go in this first quarter of action. No score. Eagles facing a second down and 10. McClendon will shift to the right-hand side this time.
All right, so far I haven't seen it yet.
You've got Sloan and Rainey in the eye. And this one will go to Sloan, who's the deep back, and he's hit and pushed backwards. So pretty tough defense up front by Joe Byrns. This will bring up for Westmoreland a third down. So third down and 10. Joe Byrns playing that middle strong.
Back, just make sure.
Clock at 5:12 in the first quarter. Eckel will split out wide to the left. From the shotgun, Blake Eckel. Mizrahi goes in motion, gets it going left-hand side. Looking to get around that side, cuts up inside, still on his feet, pushes his way forward, and will be downed. He popped free for a moment there, but they're going to say he's down at about the 48-yard line on the Eagles side of the field. So this will bring up for Westmoreland a fourth down. Fourth and about 3 to go. 4:37 as the clock runs. Left to go in a scoreless first quarter of action. The Eagles getting set to punt the ball away. Back to return it is Teran Douglas for Joe Byrns. He will be back around the 20-yard line on his side of the field. Eckel getting set to punt the ball away. Here it comes. Nice high punt. Taking the ball there is Douglas. Douglas looks for some room. 20, cuts back, and the Eagles snow him down. Coming in to put that initial hit on him for Westmoreland was Corbin Kemp. So nice downfield play by Corbin Kemp on the coverage team. And Joe Byrns will have it first down and 10, the ball at their own 19-yard line. 4:05 left to go in the first quarter. Jim Latimer and Terry McCormick on WHIM bringing you play-by-play. Douglas gets his team in the huddle. Or Richards gets his team in the huddle. They'll break now. He'll send wide to the far right-hand side, Kara. Flanking him inside is Tyron Douglas from the shotgun. Here's the snap. Going to keep it coming left-hand side himself to the 20, 25, 30, and spins down and will be driven out of bounds into the Westmoreland bench at about the 37-yard line. And that should be enough for the first down. 3:55 as the clock runs. First down 10, Joe Byrns. They will spot the ball back at the 37-yard line on their side of the field, so he didn't get quite as much as I thought he did. Richards steps under this time, backs in the eye behind him, too wide to the right-hand side, and the Eagles jump off sides. So the right-hand side of the Eagles defense jumped off sides there and made the contact. And that will move the ball further upfield for Joe Byrns. They'll have shorter to go on this first down play. Clock holds at 3:55 left to go in the first quarter. Richards brings his team to the line, too wide to the right-hand side, backs in the eye behind him, working under center this time. Here's the snap, hands off first man through, he's got some room. He's up to the 49-yard line before Eckel and also Kemp bring him down there.
Yeah.
Or Jacob Kelly, pardon me.
You know, small schools and things like that.
3:44. As the clock holds, it'll be a second down. Or actually got enough for the first down that time. First down and 10. Same offensive set. Too wide to the right-hand side. Now they're going to shift a man over slotted to the left, and from the shotgun, Man in motion. Pressure, throwing down the field, looking, and did he get it? A nice pick there by McLennan. McLennan, and they're going to say he didn't get it. It looked like he went down and caught it. And the officials discussing it, but it looked like Kemp went down, or actually McLennan went down and got that.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
So the Red Devils get the break there, as the Eagles looked like they had the interception. 3:25.
Pick right there, Jim. I mean, you can hear some of the Eagle coaches up here beside us. They thought so too, that they had put an end to this drive, but now it's going to give Joe Byrns another shot.
Well, he laid out there to get it, Terry, and I thought he had come up with it, but they're going to say no. So it'll be a second down and 10 for Joe Byrns. 2 wide right, single left from the shotgun. Quarterback Richards working, going to roll to the right-hand side. He's going to keep it, cuts up inside. And the Eagles slow him down as he gets inside Eagle territory to about the 46-yard line. So Colin Richards gets up in there before being brought down. This will bring up for Joe Byrns a 3rd down. 3rd down and 4. 3 wide on the left-hand side, single to the right. Richards from the shotgun. Hands off to the running back up the middle. He breaks his way through down to Eagle territory, pushes forward and gets down to about the 35-yard line before he's tackled. And the Eagles inside, Mizrahi brings him down, but not before he picks up that 1st down.
Yeah, it said, do you want a desktop?
2:36 left to go in this first quarter of action. Jim Latimer and Terry McCormick bring you play-by-play of Westmoreland football tonight. On the road at Joe Byrns. Joe Byrns, their 2nd offensive possession of the night. The ball is at the 36-yard line of Westmoreland. Colin Richards brings his team to the line. From the shotgun once more, 2 wide left, single to the right. Slot back stands behind him, or beside him. He shifts him now over to his left. Richards seems a little confused. I believe he had some problems with his lineup out on the field and wanted to talk it over with his coaching staff. So they call that timeout with 2:13 left to go in this first quarter of action. 1st down and 10 in Westmoreland territory. Now we'll set it down. Here's the snap. He's going to roll to the right-hand side, keep it himself. Eagles trying to snow him down, and they will get him after a minimal gain. He might have got down to about the 30 before the Eagles tackle him there. Coming up inside for Westmoreland, making the tackle, number 75, Drew Gregory, and number 80, Chris Wicks. 2nd down for Joe Byrns. 2nd and 4, so he gains 6 on the quarterback keeper around the right-hand side. He is a threat to run. Looks like this is going to be the same offensive set. He's going to work under center this time with the back behind him, 2 wide to the left-hand side. Hand off to the running back, and he's hit and pushed down. Good play on that right-hand side by Chris Wicks as he hit the running back as he got to the line and didn't let him go anywhere. 1:12 left to go in this first quarter of action. Scoreless first quarter. Joe Byrns in Eagle territory. The ball rests at the 35-yard line where it'll be 3rd down and 6. 2 wide right, single to the left. From the shotgun, Richards works, got a back standing behind him. Now he'll motion out to the left-hand side. Drop back pressure, throwing down the middle, too high for his receiver, who was well covered there. Mizrahi was well covering Zach Henniger in the middle of the field and didn't allow him to get up and get down with the ball. 41 seconds left to go in this first quarter of action. No score as of yet. 4th down and 6 being faced here by the Red Devils of Joe Byrns. Richards has one man wide to the right, 2 or 3 and tight on the left-hand side from the shotgun. Drops back, pressure, rolling, looking, throwing down the field. Got a man in the middle and gets him, and we got a flag on the field. I would imagine that's going to be a holding penalty. So the Eagles closed in on him pretty rapidly in the backfield, and I would imagine somebody got their hand on one of the rushers and helped him to keep him off Richards that time, as they were putting pretty good pressure on him. Let's see what the call is, though. And looks like, from what I can see here, they motioned toward the Westmoreland side of the field with a penalty.
We was in 2 and we was
So
bumping into
unsure what the call is. Let's see.
Yeah, for not having seen it.
Yep.
The official is standing at the 20-yard line with the football.
I did.
Now they're going to discuss it here, the 2 upfield officials. 32 seconds left to go in this first quarter of action.
I don't know.
They were facing a 4th down and 6 there.
Yeah. Yes.
And
Click the other one.
they're still discussing it, so a little bit of
once
confusion here. It looks
real
like the ball
tag
is
and
coming
the
back
other-
upfield. One of the officials pointed downfield toward Westmoreland's defense. Now they're discussing, now they're marking back downfield, so I'm not sure if anybody really knows what's going on here.
Close it. Okay.
The official stands at the 20-yard line. And whatever the call, it's going to go against Westmoreland. So they're going to march the ball down inside the 15, where it'll be 1st down and 10. I have yet to see what they have called. It has to be something with a personal foul nature or something like that, holding or something. I did not see it, but it will be 1st down and 10 for Richards. 2 wide left, single to the right. Back stands to the left-hand side, Richard, who works from the shotgun. Here's the snap. He's going to hand it off to the back up the middle. He's hit and knocked down by Gregory. The ball carrier that time was number 32, Jacob Barnhart, and Gregory smothered him pretty quickly. Short gain up the middle. He'll have the ball just nosed inside the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. And this may be the final play of that quarter as we click down with the clock still running. 3, 2, 1. That will be the final play of the first quarter of action. Eagles, Red Devils, no score. Jim Latimer, Terry McCormick on WHIN. Richards brings his team to the line, splits 2 out wide to the right-hand side. Backs in the eye behind him. He'll work under shotgun. Pitch back, tailback, looks around left-hand side. Eagles string him out and knock him down just inside the 15-yard line.
Hey, you got help.
So getting over there was Sloan, and also for Westmoreland, Tyson Leddock.
Tell him don't get reached. Chris did a good
And it will
job.
be a 3rd down. 3rd down for Joe Byrns. Call it 3rd and 10. Richards will set 2 wide right. Man in motion coming to the right from the shotgun. Pumps, looks, throws left-hand side down toward the corner. And the man caught the ball, did he? Touchdown. Touchdown, Joe Byrns, left-hand side. Making the touchdown, that sign was number 23, Jacob Sierra. Jacob Sierra gets the ball.
Nice throw and catch. Looked like the Eagles had somebody in position to help maybe break it up. Cody Eckel was over there, but he couldn't quite get to him, and he caught the football and got a foot down in the end zone.
I didn't think, Terry, that he was going to be able to get the ball in bounds. I thought he was going to go out on that far sidelines, but he was able to reel it down and bring it in. So it's a 6-0 Joe Byrns lead, and the extra point is up, and it is good. So Joe Byrns takes a 7-0 lead over Westmoreland. 11:15 left to go in the first half of action on WHIN. Getting set to kick the ball downfield is number 55, Rudy Tucker. Here's the kick downfield. This one will be taken over on the left-hand side. That's Eckel to the 20, 25, 30, looking to get outside, 35, cuts back up inside, and a nice return all the way out to the 40-yard line before he's finally brought down by Maxie Owens. So for the Eagles that time, good open field running by Cody Eckel. Sets Eagles up in good field position. They'll spot it at the 38-yard line. And Westmoreland has it first down and 10, moving from right to left on your radio dial. McLennan out wide to the right. Eckel steps up underneath center. Man in motion. Going right-hand side is Sloan. Rainey gets it, pushes his way up past the 40-yard line, gets up to about the 42, and he's tackled at that point. So a nice run up the middle by Rainey. 10:52 left to go in this first half of action. Eagles trailing 7-0. Cody Eckel splits wide to the left-hand side. Mizrahi slots to the right. Eckel, snap, hands off Sloan going right. Looking up into the middle, cuts back against the grain, pushes his way forward, and gets down into Red Devil territory. He's down at about the 48-yard line on a nice run. So Sloan cut to the right and then knifed back up inside before finally being brought down by Tyler Barnhart. 10:27 left to go in the first half of action. Eckel brings his team back to the line, working under center. McLennan wide to the left-hand side. Pitch back. This one comes to Sloan. Sloan looks up inside. Sloan pushes his way forward, and Sloan gets down to the 45-yard, getting inside it. So this will bring up a second down for Westmoreland. Nice run, two back-to-back nice runs there by Sloan. The ball is spotted at the 44-yard line where it'll be second down and 5. 9:52 as the clock runs left to go in this first half of action. The Eagles trying to respond to that score by Joe Byrns. Cody Eckel will split wide to the right-hand side. Now we've got split over on this left-hand side for the Eagles. Quentin Sizemore. From the shotgun, Eckel stands beside him. Sloan, he gets the ball cutting up in the middle, looking right. Now back against the grain. He gets down inside the 40, marking about the 38-yard line before he's tackled. And making the tackle, number 50, that's Adam Hollis. And for the Eagles, this will bring up a third down. Third and about 1 to go. The ball spotted just inside the 40-yard line. Jim Latimer, Terry McCormick on the new WHIN. Sizemore left, McLennan right. In motion, Sloan. He gets it, going right-hand side, looking, cuts back up inside, still dodges the tackler, still on his feet, pushes his way forward. He's down inside the 35-yard line, should have enough for the first down on that run. So Sloan with some inspired running there, shed a couple of blockers to pick that first down up. 8:48 left to go in this first half of action. Eagles trailing 7-0 to Joe Byrns. Working the ball down in Joe Byrns territory. They got a first down at the 33-yard line of the Red Devils. Sizemore and McLennan each split left and right from the shotgun. Eckel keeping himself, looks up inside, still on his feet, pushes his way forward, gets down inside the 30-yard line. Mark it maybe at about the 28 before being tackled. And he is brought down that time by number 62, Tyler Barnhart. Called his name a couple of times tonight. For the Eagles, it'll be a second down. Clock at 8:11 left to go in the first half. McLennan wide to the right-hand side. Left-hand side, it's Sizemore. Eckel from the shotgun. Here's the snap, dropping back, throwing down the middle of the field, looking, and this ball will be intercepted going back the other way with it. Blake Jernigan comes back with it, and Blake Jernigan down on about the, looks to be about the 11-yard line. So the Eagles drive down and turn the ball over on the interception. I believe the quarterback and the receiver each were going different ways. I think the receiver cut to the left, the quarterback threw to the right. So the defensive back pulled that one in, and the first turnover of the night goes to Joe Byrns. 7:48 left to go in this first half of action. Jim Latimer with Terry McCormick bringing you play-by-play on the new WHIN 1010 in Gallatin. Here comes the quarterback back in for Joe Byrns, Colin Richards. He'll send 2 men wide to the left-hand side. Backs in the I behind him. Under center. Here's the snap, hands off to the tailback. He spins out of a tackle, still on his feet, drives forward, and will be finally put down up inside by the Eagles. And coming up to make the tackle that time for Westmoreland, it was big number 49. And actually, that is Lucas James. I thought for a moment he was not on our stat sheet or chart sheet right there, but we've actually got him written down at the bottom. So Lucas James makes the tackle. 2nd down and 7. 7:16 left to go in this first half of action. Richards brings him back to the line. 3 wide outs, 2 left, 1 to the right-hand side. He works from the shotgun. Single back stands behind him. Hands off to the first man through. He's got some room. Pops through up the middle. Cutting left-hand side. Spins out of a tackle. Still on his feet. And will finally be brought down over across the way. And Mizrahi brings him down. But he is out past the 30-yard line. See where they do spot him. One of the officials is standing just inside the 30. He's standing at the 29. And that will bring up a 1st down and 10 with 6:53 left to go in the half. Joe Byrns on top by a score of 7-0. Richards brings him back. 3 wide to the right, single to the left from the shotgun. Back stands to his right. Hands off to the back up the middle. Pushes forward, drives, and his helmet flies off. And he's tackled as he gets to that point by Tate Sloan. And see where they down the ball at. They're going to spot it at about the, going to mark it at about the 34-yard line. And this will bring up a 2nd down. 6:13 left to go as the clock runs in this half. 2nd down and 4. Richards brings them back. 2 wide right, single to the left. From the shotgun, Banks flanking him. Here's the snap. Hands off to the first back through. And he will get a little bit over on the left-hand side before the Eagles snow him under. And getting up from the bottom of that tackle is Tyson Leddock. Let's bring up a 3rd down. 5:37 as the clock runs left to go in this first half. And Terry, the Red Devils have taken advantage of whatever they've got in this game.
Yes, they have. It's been a matter of, they really have had the football pretty much the entire first half to this point. The Eagles have had, one modestly successful drive there that ended in the interception. But other than that, they haven't had the football very often.
Yeah, and then when they got it, they had the interception down there. So the Red Devils facing the 3rd down and 5. Richards will call the timeout to talk it over with his coaching staff. The ball rests just close to the 35-yard line on their side of the field. Richards from the shotgun, backs flanking him. 2 wide right, single to the left. Here's the snap. Going to drop back and throw this one. Throws left-hand side. Got a man over there on the screen pass. Cuts back up in the middle of the field. And a nice tackle there, Terry.
Yeah, it was. Trying to see who got in there and got that. Looked like Tate Sloan, yeah. You would expect that out of him. He's been one of the Eagles, best players on both sides of the football pretty much the entire season, and he's able to get the tackle. And so right now, looks like the Eagles may be poised to get the football back here as it's 4th down.
Looks like they forced the punt here, and Richards is the punter, so you need to watch him. He's got a man standing beside him. Eagles drop back to receive this. Here comes the punt downfield. McClennan's got it, 35-40. Reverses game, going back and lost his footing as he went to make the cutback, Terry.
Yeah, he had some opening on the left-hand side, and then he saw number 21 for Joe Byrns coming up, and that was Maxie Owens. He tried to make a pivot and try to get around him, try to sidestep him, but then he lost his footing and went down right there at the 39-yard line.
That turf monster reached up and grabbed him by the ankle as he meant to make that cut back to the other side. 1st down 10 Westmoreland. 7-0 ball game. They're trying to go ahead and get something on the board before the half here. Single receiver wide right. Eckel, hands off, coming left-hand side. That is Sloan, and Sloan left a couple of players in his wake, Terry.
That's a good run there by Sloan. Picked up about 6 yards out of that play, gets it up to the 46, so about a 7-yard gain. Got a nice block early there. Looked like the left guard gave him a good block there to help spring him on that one.
He's done some good running here in these last 2 offensive series. So the Eagles facing first down or second down. This will be second down.
The left guard was Chris Birchfield.
Eckel steps under center. Man in motion coming left. Handoff. This one goes to Leddick, and Leddick pushes forward to about the 47-yard line before he's brought down.
Went right to the same spot right there over that left side, but this time Joe Byrns closes the hole up a little quicker after a gain of 2.
So they'll say he's at the 48-yard line. They'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. 3:33 as the clock runs left to go in this first half of action. McClendon splits wide to the right-hand side. Leddick, the deep man, standing behind. He's going to get the ball going up the middle, push his way forward, and now he's going to go right-hand side. Eckel kept it on a whale of a fake. He's down the sideline, still on his feet, racing down the sideline, still on his feet, and steps out of bounds. He fooled me, Terry.
What a great play fake there by Blake Eckel on that, because he faked the dive to Leddick, who executed it perfectly by going up and looking like he was trying to dive forward and get extra yards. The Joe Byrns defense bit, and then the corner on the outside there, once Eckel got away from him and broke that tackle, he completed the bootleg and went way downfield, and now the Eagles are getting in a position here toward the red zone.
I called the first down by Leddick, but it was actually Eckel going down the right-hand side picking it up. First down 10, Westmoreland. The ball is spotted at about the 20, looks to be the 22-yard line. McClendon wide to the left-hand side. Eckel steps under center, turns, gives it off left-hand side. They're cutting up inside. That's Mizrahi, and Mizrahi picked up maybe a yard or 2, but not much there.
Yeah, if he could have got past that one, Drew Gregory had already taken care of his man on down at the next level, but he wasn't able to get past that first wave.
So the Eagles will face a second down here. Clock down to 2:41. Eagles down fairly deep in Red Devil territory. The ball is inside the 20-yard line. Mark it close to the 19, Terry.
Yeah, it's certainly the best scoring opportunity of the night thus far for Westmoreland. They really need to get some points before this half is up.
Eckel hands off to Sloan, and Sloan still carrying a pile of defenders with him and getting down inside the 15-yard line. Just determined running, Terry.
Yeah, it was. It was a nice run there by Tate Sloan. Had pretty much the whole Joe Byrns defense there, just carrying him with him. Looked like a rugby scrum.
Looked like he was getting one of those fall hay rides up here in Joe Byrns territory.
Yeah, that's a whole lot better than what we've been hearing before the game and after the Red Devils' first touchdown with all the truck engines racing and things like that. I thought we'd gone to a football game and a monster truck pull had broken out.
It seemed like that to begin with. Eckel steps up under the center. McClendon wide to the right-hand side. Sloan slotted to the right, now comes in motion. He gets it going left-hand side, cuts back up inside, dishes back outside, still on his feet, still pushing, and will get down inside the 10-yard line. And again, just a whale of a run.
Great run, just kind of twisting and turning his way, because that really should have been stopped for probably about a 1-yard loss, Jim. But he made that guy miss and twisted, turned his back even to the defense at one point, made a little spin move, and just kept turning those legs, and now he's down around the 8-9 yard line.
That's 2 back-to-back runs that he's got in there and really pushed it. So it's for the Eagles a first down. 124. Rolling right-hand side. It's Eckel looking to get around that corner. Got a flag on the play. Eckel was trying to take it around that right-hand corner.
Yeah, it looked like one of the offensive linemen, I think, or somebody may have gotten flagged for holding right there, trying to spring Eckel. You hate to see that. That's exactly what happened to the Eagles last week against Trousdale County. They marched down, get inside the 10-yard line on the first series of that game, got a holding penalty, and they couldn't recover, or got I think it was a false start penalty last week. Put them behind the chains, couldn't recover from it, and now they're going to be behind the chains again and needing to pick up some serious yardage here on first down just to keep this drive alive.
Get enough of those strung together, that'll demoralize you. So the ball is moved back out to the 20-yard line. And it's actually spotted just inside, so it's actually first and goal from the 19.
Yeah, those holding penalties will kill you in high school football because it's marked from the spot. And if it happens behind the line, it's the yards behind the line plus the penalty.
Eckel went ahead that time and rolled out to his left-hand side. Was trying to get Cody Eckel over here on this left-hand side. The play was a little bit slow developing, and he just was never able to get there. And we got a flag in the middle of the field right there again, it looks like.
Let's see what this is. Yep, it looks like an ineligible receiver downfield and another 5-yard mark-off against the Eagles.
So the Eagles got down pretty close, and now they're moving back the other way with it. They're just shy of the 25-yard line, where it will be a second down and goal to go from the 24. 55 seconds left to go. Yeah, it should be. I think they've got it marked wrong on the yes, first. They've changed it now. First down, goal to go from the 24. Yeah.
Need to pick up 7 or 8 yards here if they can and try to. And Eckel loses his footing. Second time tonight we've seen an Eagle player lose their footing trying to make a cut, and now it's going to be second and goal from about the 23-yard line.
Blake Eckel handed it off to Cody Eckel that time, and he went to the outside and was cutting it back in, and as you said, his foot just flew out from underneath him. So the Eagles will call the timeout. 44 seconds left to go in this first half of action. Eagles trailing 7-0 to Joe Byrns.
Really need to get some sort of points out of this drive. I know that they've gone backwards the last couple of plays because of penalties and whatnot, but really need to get some sort of points out of this, because not only is the down and distance now your enemy, the clock is also your enemy with only 44 seconds to go.
Fighting both of them. 2 wideouts, one left and right. McLennan and Eckel from the shotgun. Blake Eckel. Here's the snap. Drops back, looking, throwing downfield, got a man across and almost made the catch. That was Tate Sloan. He stretched out there, Terry, and almost came in with it.
He did. The pass led him just a little bit too much, and the footing is bad on this field. And he made a diving attempt at it, but looked like he may have slipped just a little bit as he started to dive.
He did. He was cutting back toward the middle of the field. Had he been able to catch that in full stride, he might have taken that into the end zone. He had his man beat.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it. But, you know, even if he's able to come up with the catch, it certainly gets back a lot of the penalty yardage, puts you in a third and goal situation that's manageable, maybe somewhere down around the, 10-yard line or so.
Third and goal to go. 39 seconds left to go in the half. Eckel steps up underneath center. Man in motion. He's going to roll to the right-hand side, looking, throwing back left-hand side, looking for Eckel down the corner, and this ball is picked off right at the goal line. Coming out of there with it was number 2, and that's Blake Jernigan. And still down on the field over there for a moment was Cody Eckel. Hope he gets back up. He's getting back to his knee now. And Terry, 2 turnovers for the Eagles down in Red Devil territory.
Yeah, that one doesn't hurt nearly as much because, it was third and goal at the 26-yard line. You throw it to the end zone, hope your guy can make a play on it. It's picked off, so it's about the same thing as a short punt. They're going to bring it out to the 20-yard line and have a touchback.
Well, I think he'll have him down. I don't think he was actually in the end zone. He was down on about the 1, I believe.
And I'm sure the Eagles would take 7-2 here at the half.
Yeah, they would be happy to get that. So 29 seconds left to go in the half. Richards sends 2 wide to the left-hand side. Probably, I'm quite sure he's going to step up underneath center here to take no chance of dropping the ball. Backs in the eye behind him. Here's the snap. Going to keep it himself. Push his left-hand side, still on his feet, and the Eagles will tackle him pretty quickly inside.
Slung him down. Sloan tried to sling him down back in the end zone, but they're going to give him forward progress out to about the 1.5-yard line, it looks like.
Leading the tackle that time for Westmoreland, it was Mason Gregory. And so another timeout called here. 11 seconds left to go in the half. So he gained on that play, looks like 2 yards. Richards brings his team back. He's got 2 wide out to the left-hand side. He'll again work under center. Single back in the backfield behind him. Turns, takes a knee. So they'll take the knee and run timeout here unless there's another timeout call by either team. So as it runs down, they'll go ahead and run the first half out here. So the Eagles will get the ball to begin the second half. They'll be trailing 7-0. Be getting the kick to return it, as they won the opening coin toss and deferred till the second half of action. Getting set to return the ball will be McLennan and Tate Sloan. A big return here would help the Eagles' cause. They've driven the ball down in Joe Byrns territory twice, but turned it over on interceptions. Second half just getting set to get underway. Joe Byrns teeing the ball up. Their kicker is Rudy Tucker. He eyes the ball here. Here it comes downfield. Looks like Sloan's going to get the option on this one. It bounces to him, takes it on the hop to the 15, 20. Still on his feet, pushing, and gets the ball out to about the 27, 28-yard line before the ball is spotted at the 27-yard line on the Eagles side of the field. The Eagles wanted to get Lucas James back in, but at the last minute pull him back. 8:55 left to go in the third quarter. 2 wide right this time. Richards will work from the shotgun again. Got a slot man over on the left in tight. He comes in motion going to the right. Now Richards going to keep it going back left on the quarterback keeper. Looks for some running room, and we got a flag on the field. He gets down inside the 25-yard line. Let's see what the call is here. You would think in that area it's going to be a holding call against Joe Byrns, but let's see. That will be, I believe, the first penalty called against Joe Byrns tonight. And it will march the ball back upfield, the holding call. And it will move it back to the 37-yard line on the Eagles side of the field, where it'll be first down and 20. 8:04 as the clock runs, left to go in the third quarter. Eagles trailing 7-0. Joe Byrns taking some time off the clock with this possession. Richards from the shotgun, 2 in tight on the right. Looks, throws left-hand side screen. Coming back left along the sidelines, down the sideline, knocked out of bounds, got another flag. Mizrahi knocked the ball carrier. Actually, that was Eckel. Cody Eckel knocked the ball carrier out across the way over there. Now 2 flags. The first flag came before the player was hit and knocked out of bounds, so I don't believe it's going to be a late hit over there. Second flag might be for some jawing. Let's see what the call is. Officials discussing it. He had the one flag fly down as the back was going down the sidelines before he was knocked out of bounds. And the second one came after the play had finished. Holding penalty, personal foul penalty. So you got an offsetting penalty, the holding penalty against Joe Byrns, and a personal foul against the Eagles. So it'll be, see where they end up spotting the ball here. And 2 personal fouls. So they have 2 personal fouls against the Eagles. One, the way the public address announcer was stating it, 7:55 as the clock holds left to go in the third. The officials here still having some discussions on how they need to mark this. The official with the ball stands at the 27-yard line on the Eagles side of the field. Now they'll go over and have some further discussions. On the face of it, from what we've heard, we had a holding and then a personal foul, which was offsetting, then another personal foul against Eagles, which is what is being marched off right now. So this will move the ball down inside the 15-yard line, mark it at the 14. You would think that the play would have been dead. 7:55, and that'll be a first down as they move the chains. 7:55 left to go in the third. 2 wide to the right. Richards underneath. Now we've got a whistle. I think the officials may want to discuss that over here with Coach Harris on the sidelines. When the penalty's offset, it should have been dead. I'm going over here to discuss with Coach Harris over here on the sidelines. I think he's probably going over that very fact. This comes with 7:55 left to go in the third. Now, Joe Byrns is wanting to go back to the line of scrimmage while we're still having a referee and coach discussion over in the sidelines with Coach Harris.
You gave them both the yardage and the penalty.
That's what he's pointing out to him, that he's giving him the yards and the penalty both.
Both the yardage and the penalty.
7:55 as we still await a decision here. So the official now will go back out to the 15-yard line and discuss again.
Coach Perry, if they do,
they are discussing what they want to do. They're really quite confused. Jim Latimer along with Terry McCormick tonight on the play-by-play of Westmoreland High School football on WHIM. Now we'll have to go over and talk to the head coach, Coach Tom Adkins of Joe Byrns. They'll bring the ball back upfield now. And this has just been a total cluster of a decision. The official is now standing out at about the 27-yard line. I think they're trying to find out where they need to spot the chains. Now we'll have a little bit more discussion. It's look like, what's the winning lottery numbers? Who do you think's got the football game tomorrow? They seem to be having a very thorough discussion here. Now they'll move the ball back downfield. And now Coach Harris is over here on the sideline saying the ball started back at about the 39-yard line. So the Westmoreland sidelines are trying to help the officiating crew get everything straight. They've got it spotted as it is now at the 14-yard line of Westmoreland, and Joe Byrns is trying to go ahead and get a play underway to take advantage of this to where they can get the good field position. Now we'll have another official huddle over here by the 39-yard line, and Coach Harris telling him, guys, you've not got the spot of the ball correct. It's almost like having another halftime. So the officials will discuss it here. 7:55 as the clock continues to hold in a very long-running third quarter. Seems like we've had more time discussing this penalty than we've actually had football action. Now the official will step it off again. And the ball was on the 14-yard line. They will move it now back out to the, it appears to be on the 23-yard line on the Eagles side of the field. It will be the first down for Joe Byrns. And it looks like we may finally get some football action going here. Richard brings his team to the line. Too wide to the right-hand side. Backs in the eye behind him. He'll go up under center. Eagles jumping up on the line. Here's the snap, pitch back, tailback, going left-hand side. The Eagles slow him down, get him down, he bounces off of it, and then they finally pull him down. Is the ball on the ground? Did the ball go on the ground? It looked for a minute there like the ball might have gone in the ground. I believe ending up in the middle of that, making the tackle inside, was Lucas James on that second effort. The ball carrier was number 13, Eric Herring. Tate Sloan also in on the tackle for Westmoreland. So the ball is now just shy of the 25-yard line. And they bring up a second down. Second down and 13. Richards brings them to the line. Two again wide to the right from the shotgun. Got a man over on the left-hand side. He comes in motion going right. Looking back, throwing toward the right-hand corner of the end zone. McClennan's got a shot at it. He gets it. Chris McClennan grabs that interception, so turnabout's fair play. The Eagles get an interception after throwing two in the first half, and the Eagles go back on offense and turn this Joe Byrns Red Devil team away with 6:47 left to go in the third quarter of action. So the Eagles have it first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Jim Latimer along with Terry McCormick tonight on WHIM play-by-play of Westmoreland Eagle High School football. Here come the Eagles offense back onto the field. McLennan will split wide to the right-hand side. Blake Eckel will step up under center. I believe that's Rainey directly behind him. Man in motion. Rainey gets it, leaping over bodies, pushing his way forward, gets out past the 30. That's a first down for Westmoreland. Nice run there by Rainey over on the left-hand side following his blocking. Sloan was flowing in that direction, but Rainey got the handoff. First down 10 Westmoreland. Eagles appear to be fired up here after that penalty debacle. 6:39 left to go in the third quarter. Cody Eckel wide left. Blake Eckel turns, looking downfield, throwing right-hand side for Mizrahi. Too well covered, just threw it outside of him there. Didn't want to take a chance with the interception. For the Eagles, it'll bring up a second down and 10. Ball just nosing the 30-yard line on their side of the field. They trail 7-0 to the Joe Byrns Red Devils. Eccles will break the huddle. Rainey again lined up behind him. Offset to the left is Sloan. Sloan gets the call going right-hand side. Looks to bounce it outside. Now cuts back up inside. Pushes. Still on his feet. And will get up to about the 37-yard line before he's brought down. A nice run following his blocker over there. And for Westmoreland, that'll bring up a third down. Third and about, from where they spot it now, about 3 yards to go. Clock runs at 6:01 left to go in the third quarter. Eagles trying to maintain some momentum with this possession after the interception in the end zone. Cody Eckel wide to the right-hand side. Eagles fans making some noise. Man in motion comes left-hand side. This will go up the middle. It will go to Rainey. Rainey pushes forward, and Rainey will be stopped shy, and we got a flag. Seems like we can't have too many plays without getting a multitude of flags thrown in this game, so they'll spot the ball back at the 38-yard line. And the penalty, I believe, will be against Joe Byrns, and it will be marched off against him. And the Eagles offensive team out here showing some life. They want to get into it. They want to get going. This will march the ball upfield, and it will go down into Joe Byrns territory and be down at the 47-yard line with 5:36 left to go in the third. McLennan splits wide to the right. Sizemore comes out to the left-hand side. Sloan and Mizrahi slot left and right. In motion comes Sloan. He's going to get it going that way. Looks back up inside, still on his feet, pushes his way forward, gets down to about the 45-yard line. So Sloan initially wanted to pop outside, but cut it back up inside, picked up some yardage. And this will bring up a second down for Westmoreland. Second and 7. Gain of 3 yards. Same set. McLennan right, Sizemore left, Mizrahi right, and I believe this is Rainey left. Now that's actually Eckel. Now Blake Eckel keeps it up the middle. Blake Eckel cuts forward, and that should be enough for the first down for Blake Eckel. And we got another flag. Someone on Joe Byrns' side of the field lost their helmet, and we got a penalty after the play was down. Let's see who it's against. Officials discussing it here. The penalty flag rests just inside the 45-yard line, and the penalty will be called against Westmoreland. So the penalty called against the Westmoreland Eagles. 4:42 left to go in the third quarter of action. Eckel had picked up the first down there, but the penalty, let's see if the penalty came after the play. He gained the first down if the penalty was after the play. Let's see what the call is. Penalty marched back down into Westmoreland territory at the 48-yard line. .442 left to go in the third. This will bring up They're showing a second down and 15. And the officials now blow the whistle, step back out, and we got another whistle as they want to talk it over again. There's still some confusion here. They have really had some problems communicating officiating-wise here in this third quarter of action. It has interrupted the flow of the game considerably. .442 as the clock holds. The officials, Coach Harris over here on the sideline talking to this near official. I think they'll say it is 3rd and 15 now, they're saying. From the shotgun, it's going to be It's going to be a wildcat play to Sloan. He breaks free around the left-hand side. Sloan still on his feet. Sloan racing down the field. Sloan on his feet and diving and gets inside the 20-yard line. And Tate Sloan refused to go down. He lined up in the backfield. It was a wildcat play. It was centered directly to Tate Sloan. Now we've got some Joe Byrns players out in the middle of the field tossing their helmets down, and the Westmoreland coaching staff is trying to get the officials' attention, saying, why is there not a penalty on that? Coach Harris trying to call the official here over on the sidelines. The Eagles have the first down on that fantastic run by Tate Sloan. Now they're calling the Eagles offense back to the middle of the field. And I believe that they're going to talk to both teams here. It's been a little chippy here. We're going to call both teams together here and read the riot act to them. 4:22 as the clock holds, left to go. In this third quarter of action, the Eagles have the ball first down and 10. Looks to be at about the 18-yard line of Joe Byrns. There has been some chippiness here, as we said, on this last offensive series. Both teams' offensive series had a couple of personal fouls called. That time after the play was over, you had some of the Joe Byrns players out here tossing their helmets down onto the ground. I'm quite sure that if the officials catch anybody even raising their eyebrow the wrong way after this midfield conference, that we will get a flag pretty quickly. Jim Latimer along with Terry McCormick tonight, bringing you play-by-play of Westmoreland High School football on WHIN. They'll break now, come back downfield. The officials still talking, trying to get control of this game back. The Eagles players waving their fans up on this near sideline, up on their feet. 4:22 left to go in the third quarter. Here comes Sloan back into the game. He took the wildcat snap a minute ago and reeled off an improbable run on the left-hand side. It looked like he was going to be tackled several times, but he broke it free deep into Joe Byrns territory. Eckel from the shotgun. Sloan stands beside him. McClennan to the right, Sizemore to the left. Sloan gets it, looking. Actually, it's Eckel keeping it. Eckel keeping, got a flag on the field. Flag on the field. Eckel kept it up the middle. That's the second time tonight he's faked me out. And this will be a holding call called against the Westmoreland Eagles. 4:03 remaining in the third. Lucas James checks out of the game for Westmoreland. This will march the ball all the way back to the just outside the 30-yard line. Cody Eckel checking back into the game for Westmoreland. He'll split wide to the right. Sizemore comes left. Eckel from the shotgun once more, standing over to his right hand. Actually, they're going to be the Wildcat again. Taking it to Sloan, got a flag on the field. Sloan penetrates down close to the 23-yard line before being tackled. But we got two flags now. Two flags on the field. 3:43 left to go. in this third quarter. Let's see if we can sort this out. I would think that the first flag might be a holding call against Westmoreland. Let's see what the second flag is. Holding against Westmoreland. And both penalties will go against the Westmoreland Eagles. So with 3:43 left to go in this third quarter, the ball is marched back upfield. The official with the ball now standing at the 41-yard line on the Westmoreland side. He'll step the penalty off from there. Here they come marching it back further upfield. The Eagles were breaking the huddle going to the line, but they're still marching the penalty off. And this one will come all the way back to the Westmoreland 43-yard line. And it will be first and forever from here. They've got to get the ball somewhere down in the neighborhood of the 7 or 8 yard line to pick up this first down. The officials now call another whistle and timeout taken by Joe Byrns. First and 48. 3:43 left to go in this third quarter of action. So the Eagles, who had got the ball down deep into Joe Byrns' territory, have a couple of penalties go against them. Blake Eckel working from the shotgun. Standing to his right is Sloan. Mizrahi slotted over there. And we've got another whistle. So you talk about interrupting the flow of the game. These whistles and flags have really done a number. The Eagles there were getting ready to get the play underway. And the official blew the whistle. Now they'll regroup. Play comes into the huddle. McClennan wide to the right-hand side. Sizemore wide left. Sloan slots right, or slots left. Mizrahi right from the shotgun. Blake Eckel. Here's the snap. Pressure. And he'll be hit and knocked down. Hit and knocked down at the 34-yard line. Big number 60, Braxton Asherbronner, comes in there to get him. I hope I'm doing the young man's name justice. Good defensive play by Joe Byrns. Drops him all the way back to the 35-yard line. Now it will be for the Eagles a second down and 56. So the Eagles had got the ball down close in Joe Byrns' territory, but now marching the other way. Sizemore left, Eckel right. And the shotgun, Blake Eckel. He's going to follow the block of Sloan. Comes down the sideline, still on his feet, and will be pushed out of bounds at about the 42-yard line on the Eagles side of the field. 2:47. As the clock holds left to go in the third. The Eagles face now a third down. Third down and extremely long. Ball is spotted on the 47-yard line on the Eagles side of the field. Eckel will step up underneath center. Rainey stands directly behind him. Offset to the left is Sloan. Sloan gets it. It's reversed. Coming back left-hand side. McClennan's got the ball looking down the sidelines. And McClennan driven out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. And the tackle made there by number 21, Maxie Owens. A flag on the play in the middle of the field. Let's see what the call is. It'll be against Westmoreland. It will be declined. A block in the back against Westmoreland will be declined by Joe Byrns. 2:41 left to go in the third. It seems like that we've played 25 minutes on this last 8 minutes of the third quarter. The Eagles trailing by a score of 7-0. Jim Latimer and Terry McCormick bringing you play-by-play tonight on WHIN. Tyron Douglas back to return this punt. He stands back at his 20-yard line. Cody Eckel stands at his 35. Here's the snap. Kick. It's going to be a low one, and he will take it. Cut to the left-hand side of the field, back inside, and the Eagles will tackle him. That is getting on there, making a tackle for Westmoreland. Quentin Sizemore getting down there very quickly. Not a lot of return. So back on offense will go Joe Byrns with 2:11 left to go in the third. The Eagles trailing by a score of 7-0. Eagles need a turnover here. Game is still within reach, but they've got to go ahead and get something going. They have shown spurts in this game, but have not been able to punch it into the end zone or put some points on the scoreboard. Some confusion over there by Joe Byrns. They're checking another player in the game late. Looks like an offensive lineman. Now Richards will bring him back. He sends a man wide to the right-hand side. Also a man left to the over to the left. Backs in the eye behind him. He goes under center. Here's the snap. Handoff tailback. And he is hit, and the Eagles game tackle him. So a nice tackle in there. Sloan came in to help finish it off, but I believe the initial man that came up there and made the initial hit for Westmoreland, wrapped him up till the rest of them got there, was Mason Gregory. A loss on the play of 1. Third down, or actually this will be second down and 11. The clock says third and 11, it's second down and 11. Clock runs at 1:43 left to go in the third. Richards will send 2 left, 2 right. He'll work from the shotgun. Single back stands to his right-hand side. Here's the snap. Going to keep it himself. Look over left. The Eagles catch him up inside and will tack him for a minimal gain. I believe Lucas James up in there on the tackle. Also Rainey in for Westmoreland. And Chris Wicks. So this will bring up a third down. 1:05 left to go in this third quarter of action. Clock now goes underneath a minute. Here's the whistle. They've got to get the ball, it looks to be here at about the 38 to pick up the first down. It currently rests on the 25. Here's the snap. Pressure. Throwing across the middle. Got a man there and can't hold on to it. They had a man on the crossing pattern out close to where the first down had been. The Eagles were putting some pressure on him. Wicks and Leddick were putting the pressure on the quarterback, Richard. So this will be a punting situation. 4th down and 9.
We got it covered.
McLennan back to return. Richards, the punter, also the quarterback, stands inside his 20. McLennan back awaiting it. It'll be a short one, and he will not get a chance to return. This is a take an Eagle bunt, bounce, and rolls back up the field and jumps to the other side of the 50. Well, the Eagles have it first down and 10. The ball at the 49-yard line on WHIM. Westmoreland gets the ball back with 29 seconds left to go in this third quarter of action. Working just on the inside of Joe Byrns territory. McLennan wide to the right-hand side. Rainey the deep man here. And Eckel will keep it going right-hand side. Looking, pushes forward, gets down to about the 45-yard line before being tackled. And coming in to make the tackle was number 32, Jacob Barnhart. So a good run that time by Eckel. Cody Eckel checks back into the game. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. That may have been the final play of the third quarter of action. And it will be. We'll move to fourth quarter. Eagles facing a second down and 6, trailing 7-0 on 1010 Sports.
Officiating crew has left a lot to be desired. They had to call both teams up into the middle of the field to tell them to calm things down. Well, here's the thing. They had already lost control of the football game. The players will do whatever you allow them to get away with on both sides.
It's a little bit too
And
late to shut the barn door after the horse is out.
Absolutely.
So the Eagles facing a second down and 6. We flipped ends of the field. Cody Eckel split out wide to the left-hand side. Blake Eckel stepping under.
Eagles have got to put some points together right here in this drive because they are in plus territory, got good down and distance.
Sloan gets it right inside, looking, cuts back up the middle, still on his feet, and gets the ball to about the 41-yard line before he's brought down. We got another flag. 2 flags. This is just incredible.
It is.
It's like Flag Day.
Yeah. you know, it's crazy, you know, just that every play you're waiting to see what kind of flag is going to be thrown. I think we had maybe 4 plays in a row without a flag, and now here we go again.
I said earlier it took
And
about.
it's on Westmoreland, another unsportsmanlike.
So I think they probably got a hold and maybe an unsportsmanlike
And that's
here.
what got them in the hole the last time when it became 1st and 56. You know, back years ago, you know, back in the 70s, Westmoreland and Joe Byrns used to play each other on a regular basis. And then because they couldn't get along, shall we say, they agreed, and they didn't play each other for years and years and years.
Well, they've renewed the rivalry tonight with a vengeance.
And they have renewed the hateful attitudes toward each other.
The officials are now still out here talking. This is the toughest thing about this is you can't get a decision on them. They just wander around on the field,
well,
and don't make the decision.
You know, I mean, when you have this, and I understand that the officials are trying to police the game, but I'm not sure how every one of the unsportsmanlike or late hits and those sorts of things are going against the Eagles, because there's 2 teams out there on the field. You know that they're not the ones doing every bit of it, because
They've certainly got the lion's share of the calls. I don't know. I can think of maybe 2 penalties that were called tonight against Joe Byrns.
yeah, and now here they are facing, you know, 2nd and half a mile again.
This will move the ball all the way back down to the Westmoreland 30-yard line.
So that was a loss of 29 yards, if that's correct, if it falls to 30, because they had the ball at the 41-yard line.
And it looks like it's spotted. It's actually at the 30. It's at the 30-yard line.
At the 30, so they,
Yeah.
it's still 20,
Yeah.
29 yards, because the ball was at the 41
Yes.
of Joe Byrns after Sloan's run.
Eckel under center, hands off, first man through, pushing, still on his feet, diving, still on his feet, and that was a great carry, and that was running with some aggravation.
Yes, it was. I don't think I've ever seen a run like the one Sloan had there in the third quarter. He just carried the guy with him for about 30 yards.
He refused to go down. That was rainy that time, picked up good yardage, not the first down yardage, but good yardage. He's got the ball at the 41-yard line on the Eagles side of the field. This will bring up 3rd down. They've got to get the ball down here to the 39, about the 39, yeah, of Westmoreland to pick it up.
So
Blake Eckel steps under. He's going to roll back. Throwing right-hand side, looking, got Sloan. Sloan cannot hold the ball.
Oh, he had to make an over-the-shoulder catch, and he lost the ball there at the last minute. It was a great throw by Eckel. Put it right in the breadbasket, but as he turned to look, I think he saw how wide open he was part of it.
I think he was thinking, I'm off to the races on this. You're not going to catch me, because that was the perfect play for that call for that time, because they had broken wide open. He had some room there. So 10:40 left to go, 4th down and 20.
4th and 20, and you're asking your defense to hold one more time. Try to get you the ball back. You know, you only need 1 score, but time is starting to dwindle a little bit. It's 10:40 left.
The Eagles now will drop back into punting formation. They had played around a moment there trying to fake them out. Cody Eckel drops back. That's going to be a fake. Blake Eckel throws it across the middle, and they cannot make the connection there with McClennan. McClennan was coming across from the right-hand side of the field. The ball was snapped to Blake Eckel, the up man.
He had
him.
He had it. It was just a little in route, and he cut in, and the ball just hit him right there a little bit high off the hands, and he couldn't haul it in.
So 2 plays I know the Eagles wish they had back, because they had the right call on both of them and had some room to work. Now Joe Byrns has the ball back.
Got a short field here. Eagle defense going to have to hold. Joe Byrns just 41 yards away from the end zone.
They lead 7-0. Jim Latimer and Terry McCormick with the call on tonight's WHIN. 2 wide to the right-hand side, backs in the eye behind Richards. Goes under. Here's the snap, hands off to the tailback, looks for some room up in the middle, breaks free, still on his feet, spins out of a tackle and be down inside the 30-yard line. Mizrahi coming there to sling him down.
It was a good run there that time by Herring, the running back, just kind of taking what was there before it was over. He had moved down to
First down.
About the 30-yard line of the Eagles, so it picks up about 11 or 12.
This field is hard to see. It's faded out.
It really
on that
is.
End of
The
the field.
lighting is also very bad out there. I know when taking from taking pictures there in the third quarter. You know, it's just kind of hazy looking, and you know, and I think that's mostly because of the lights.
2 wide left, first down, backs in the eye. Richards, snap, tailback. Herring up in the middle, breaks free, still on his feet, out of a tackle, comes left-hand side, breaks free, and he'll take it into the end zone. Herring takes it into the end zone to extend the Joe Byrns lead to a 13-0 margin, and now we've got multiple flags on the field. I see 3 come out right there. So
Frustration boiling over there.
I think this flag will go against Joe Byrns.
Will it nullify the touchdown?
I don't know. It came after he was in the end zone.
Yeah.
I tell you, that haze you see hanging over the field, maybe these big trucks over in the end zone, they've been gunning their motors continuously.
I think they need to give him an unsportsmanlike for that. It's annoying.
it's pretty loud.
I didn't know we were coming to a monster truck race.
You have the foghorns, the cannons at various stadiums. That's the first time I've had the monster trucks in the corner of the end zone just going berserk.
I'll never complain about the train whistle at Portland again.
That makes it sound awful tame. Let's see what we're doing here.
And it's against Westmoreland, and it's offsetting. And the touchdown counts.
Oh, my goodness. You would think the Eagles could get a break on at least one of these.
You would think, but it's not going to happen.
9:53 left to go in the game.
And they're going to try, let's see, are they going for 1 or 2? No, they got the kicking tee out there, so they're going for 1. Number 8 on
So
the
the kicker is Jonathan Morales. So they're going to try to make it a 14-0 margin. Nope, you only ran out there for nothing. Come back.
Yep.
He was a big boy, too.
Yes, he was.
Waiting the snap.
A little bit high.
And he gets it down, and it's up and good.
Good job to get it through and to get the snap down because it was a little bit high.
Here we go with Truckzilla over in the end zone.
Yeah, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot and his 7 ugly stepbrothers over there.
Yes.
9:53 left to go in the football game. The Eagles have gone now down by a score of 14-0.
I think the Eagles probably have gained more yards overall tonight than the Red Devils, but they keep going backwards because of the penalty yards. In just terms of pure rushing or passing yards, they're probably ahead. But when you have so many penalties, it just wipes it out.
The kick downfield taken over on the left-hand side, cutting back across the field. It's Eckel. Eckel's still up in the middle of the field, and Eckel will make a good return out to about the 43-yard line.
And believe it or not, there's no flag. At least not yet.
I thought they were using flags as ball placers. So first down and 10. Westmoreland set up in pretty good field position. 9:43 left to go in this football game. Jim Latimer along with Terry McCormick with the call of tonight's action.
Eagle offense, it's a sense of urgency right now. First of all, you've got to keep your nose clean. You can't get any more penalties. If you can avoid the penalties, I think the plays are there to be made because we've seen it both in the run game and in the passing game. If they will just avoid the penalties and the mistakes, I think they can move the football.
They have been able to move it in the second half. 2 wideouts. Eckel will step under center. Man in motion is Sloan. And up the middle, I think, did Eckel keep the ball that time?
Kept the ball, picked up about 4 or 5 there. He's up to about the 47, so a gain of about 4.
And again, no flags. 9:31 as the clock runs left to go.
Got to be a little bit of a sense of urgency here if you're the Eagles to get in and out of the huddle and not chew up too much time on this clock.
Sizemore checks out of the game. McLennan splits wide to the right. Eckel to the left-hand side. From the shotgun. Blake Eckel, pressure, looking, trying to get away. Makes it away, left-hand side, going down the sideline, still on his feet. Punishes a blocker and gets down to about the 40-yard line.
It was a good job by Eckel.
Flag.
This should be a late hit on Joe Byrns, perhaps, but it's probably not going to be that way.
Flag rests back at about the 46-yard line.
Eckel just lowered his shoulder, and then he was hit out of bounds.
And I think I saw the official motion toward Westmoreland on the penalty call. This is just, I don't think I've ever seen this many flags thrown in a ball game before.
It's unbelievable.
That's not just sour grapes. I mean, you would
No,
think
it's
the other
not,
team would
but
at least draw some.
You think they quit throwing flags? They're going to be late for their Pee Wee games that they got to call tomorrow.
They might be still throwing flags for this one when they kick off that game tomorrow. So this ball moved all the way back inside the 45-yard line, marking it about the 44 for Westmoreland.
That is, I guarantee you that's at least the 15th penalty on the Eagles. I haven't been counting, but I guarantee you that's probably at least 15 penalties.
They got their share. Eckel from the shotgun looks, throws over to Sloan on the right-hand side. Sloan breaks down the field, gets past the 50 down into Joe Byrns territory. He'd be down to about the 48-yard line. Making the tackle that time is number 21, Maxie Owens. And no flags.
And it's actually a 3rd and makeable right here. It's about 2 yards shy.
A good play by the Eagles on the pass. And they're going to get the first down.
Wow, hadn't seen one of those in a while.
Well, that would have been, I would not have called that. It looked like he was short on it.
It did look like he was short, but after everything that's gone wrong against the Eagles, they'll take it.
That must be a makeup call.
Not much of one. Too little, too late.
Eckel steps under center. Man in motion. Rainey gets it. Rainey up in the line.
Oh, he's got a big hole.
40, and Rainey will be down to about the 37-yard line.
A good run by Rainey right there. If he had cut back to the right just a little bit, he might have been able to sidestep the tackler, the only guy that had a shot at him. As it is, he still gains good yardage, and he's down to the 36 of Joe Byrns.
There was one tackler and a lot of open field if he could get around him.
Yeah, and the coaches up here were worried that when he kind of slammed the ball down that he might get a delay of game penalty there.
It's the way they've called it tonight, you never know. First down 10, Westmoreland. 8:30 left to go in the ball game. McLennan wide to the right-hand side.
And now what?
Official's going to blow a whistle. I think Joe Byrns called the timeout.
Joe Byrns has called a timeout.
So the Eagles, every time they get something going, either they get a penalty or Joe Byrns calls a timeout.
Yeah, when they turn on the film and watch this game, they're going to be throwing things at the screen. It's just been that frustrating. And when you have to go back and relive it and correct whatever mistakes were made, they're going to be extremely frustrated when the coaching staff and the players watch this game.
And I'm sure that if you were to watch every play in every game by each team, you could call a holding on every play in each game.
That's just
they
the
have
nature
really
of it.
taken it to the extreme tonight in watching the Westmoreland Eagles. And
yeah, there've been a lot of holding calls, and like I said, I'm certain, I'm certain that the Eagles have been guilty of some of the personal fouls that have been called against them.
Frustration.
But I also feel like that some of that probably Joe Byrns has been guilty of too, and they've not had to pay nearly as big a price.
I've seen a couple of instances where it was not called on. And that's not just being a homer; it actually legitimately could have been called on. So the Eagles, 8:25 left to go in the game. They've got the ball at the 36-yard line.
Got to have a sense of urgency here.
And in motion, left-hand side, Cody Eckel. This one goes to
Leddick.
Leddick up the middle.
Big
Leddick
hole.
to the 25. Leddick still on his feet to the 20. Leddick down the sideline to the 15. Leddick still pushing forward.
Nice run by Tyson Leddick right there. I know when I saw him on the sidelines a while ago during that whole series when it was 1st and 56, he was extremely frustrated. He took his frustrations out there. It's 1st and goal at the 7-yard line now for the Eagles after Leddick rips off a 29-yard run.
And the Eagles have had some great runs in this game tonight.
You're good.
Eckel brings them to the line. Under center, turns, hands off. This will be Sloan. Sloan on the right-hand side gets down inside the 5-yard line.
Just noses across the 5 to the 4 right there, so it's going to be 2nd and goal. Leddick got a great block from his center and from his left guard on that long run. That sprung him, and he ran for a while, shook off a tackle and drug another guy to get an extra 4 or 5 yards at the end of it.
They blocked that big defensive end, number 60, Braxton Ashbronner, who's been in the backfield a couple of times tonight.
The center
down goal. Pitch back right-hand side. Sloan looking. Sloan up in the line. Sloan driving. Sloan going to get in.
He's down to the 1, it looks like.
Looked like he might have squirted in there at that last second, but he's stopped shy of the goal line. And where are they going to stop the ball down at?
It's a good question. And Coach Harris is not happy about something.
It looked like they were going to spot it down to about the 4. Are you going to move it back out? It's closer now. Handoff up the middle. Sloan. Sloan goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Westmoreland. Hold it, hold it, hold it. No flags on the play.
Oh, hey. So they can finally get the 0 off the scoreboard after The Eagles probably have had about 3 scoring drives tonight, as much as they run up and down the field, only to have it all taken back.
7:03 left to go in the ball game. 14-6, Westmoreland trailing by 1, getting set to attempt the extra point. Getting set to attempt it now.
Quentin Sizemore.
Sizemore awaits the snap.
McLennan with the holder.
Kick. They're going to fake.
Oh.
I missed it.
Yeah,
Terry,
the play was just blown up.
Yeah, I think that the snap came back, it was low, and McLennan couldn't get his hands on it.
Yeah,
so it
and
wasn't a
Sizemore
fake,
just
it
kind
was
of
just
aborted
yes.
the kick attempt. So now, if you're the Eagles, you got 7:03 left. You need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
They've got 9 guys standing in between the 50 and the 45. They've got 2 guys standing back outside the 25 and 1 back.
I understand what they're thinking, but with 7:03 and Westmoreland with all their timeouts left, I can't believe that they wouldn't do this.
Here's a short blooper kick up, and it will be taken by number 5. He's going to go back the other way with it and be tackled as he gets about the 31-yard line.
About the 31, 32-yard line there. It was kind of
sort of an odd little play.
Kind of caught the little pop-up kick there. It looked like a shortstop going out toward the outfield to catch a pop fly, and caught it over the shoulder, and then got to kind of turn around and run back the other way, and got 6 or 7 yards after that.
He caught it going back toward his goal line, like you said, and then turned and had to come back upfield. So he caught it actually over his shoulder. First down 10, Joe Byrns, 6:53 left to go in the game. The ball spotted on the 32-yard line on their side of the field. Richards will send a man wide to the left-hand side.
This is where the Eagle defense really has to bow up and get a stop. Can't give up any big plays right here. And you can't get any penalties.
Hand off tailback up into the line.
Number 13, you should have known he was going to get it. Stopped after a 1-yard gain. It was a nice play right there. Chris Birchfield and Ryan Rainey in on the stop.
Ryan Rainey bulldogged him down after a very short gain. And that ball carrier, Eric Herring, has got the lion's share of most of the ball carries tonight in the game when the quarterback Richards didn't keep it.
And then they've taken to the air a few times, letting Richards throw it. But, you know, Eagle defense, for the most part, other than, you know, just a couple of times, they've done pretty well tonight. It's just been all the penalties that have just killed Westmoreland.
2nd and 9. 3 wide to the right, single to the left. Richards from the shotgun. He's going to come left-hand side, trying to get around the edge. And he'll be tackled and dragged down.
51 on the stop.
And for the Eagles, making that tackle, number 51. And we have no player but that name on the lineup.
And he's got a nice white jersey on, too.
We thought that we had got it when we got, the number 49 coming in, Lucas James, back on the field, but we don't know who that 51 is.
51, we're told, is Alex James now. He's ditched 49 to wear 51 right now.
Okay. So he's a man of many numbers in this
game
tonight.
Taking a page from Trousdale County's book there.
That is. 3rd down and 5. 3 wide to the right, single to the left. Richards from the shotgun, back stands beside him. Snap, hands off to the back up the middle. He's hit and pushed backwards. Nice defensive play.
And it's way short. It's going to be a good 2 yards short. See if Joe Byrns wants to gamble, or if they're going to play it safe and punt.
Leddick made the initial submarine hit, and then coming up to help finish him off was Sloan. Clock running at 5:04 left to go in this football game. Ball just nosing the 40-yard line. And the Eagles dropping back. McLennan to receive this punt. Again, be careful. 4th down and 2.
You got to be careful not to jump off sides and give them 5 free yards here. The officials obviously would love to throw the flag again.
Well, the quarterback is Richards. He's also the punter. So watch him. Here's the snap. Here's the punt.
Short.
He's going to punt it right hand side of the
Eagles
field.
trying to get away from it. Don't want it to. It bounces kind of sideways there, and Westmoreland's going to have the ball in decent field position. Probably couldn't have asked for it to work out any better.
That worked out pretty good. Didn't take a lot of time running the return back. So it's 4:28 left to go in the ball game, and the ball is spotted. Looks to be at about the 38, 39-yard line. Again, the yard markers on that side of the field are almost indistinguishable.
Very difficult to see once you get past the hash marks on the side that we're on to see where the yard marker is. But I think you're right. It's around the 37, 38-yard line.
McLennan goes wide to the right-hand side. Sloan slots right. I think it's Miss Rahi slotted left. And up the
Eccles
keeping it,
gonna keep.
Eckel coming to the right-hand side, looking around that corner, down the field, 50, 45, out of bounds.
Good job. It was a good run by Blake Eckel right there to turn the corner, get some extra yards, and a good job by Chris McLennan. He didn't really block number 1, Tyron Douglas, for Joe Byrns, but he kind of ran interference. You know what I'm saying?
He
It's
just
kind
got
of,
in his way.
kind of a
couldn't get
moving
to him.
screen, so to speak.
First
and,
down
you know,
10.
if you're looking at basketball, and in doing that, ball goes over into Joe Byrns territory back at the 41.
Out of bounds, that stops the clock too, so first down 10. Here come the Eagles offense back to the line. Nobody wide out. McLennan in on tight on the right-hand side. Turn around, handoff. This one comes to Sloan going right, cuts up inside. He's 35, 30, balls on the ground.
The ball was
my
stripped
goodness.
away.
Getting on top of it, number 9, Colin Richards, the quarterback.
Sloan was off to the races and he lost the football. Just been that kind of night for the Eagles.
He had just broken through in what might have even been a touchdown going down this near sideline. And it was just shocking. And there's a flag out.
Another flag. Let's see what that is.
It was holding against the Eagles, but it's declined.
Well, of course it was holding against the Eagles. That's all they called all night long. That and unsportsmanlike conduct.
The flag should be able to go both ways, but it's not tonight. 4:03 left to go in the ball game. The ball spotted at the 31-yard line on Joe Byrns' side of the field.
And you got to ask the defense to step up once again.
And they have done it in the second half tonight.
And now you got to start burning your timeouts probably after each play to try and preserve as much time as possible, because the clock will stop when you reset getting first downs or getting out of bounds on offense.
Richards from the shotgun, 3 wide right, single to the left, single back, stands to his right. He's going to keep it, roll to the right-hand side, looking for some room. Cuts up inside, and will be tackled as he gets to about the 46-yard line. And coming up inside, making that tackle.
And here's the thing with the Eagles. You got to know they're not putting the football in the air. They're not taking that chance. Play against the run, stack the box, keep your corners on an island and one safety back deep just in case somebody breaks through, but you need 8 in the box right here to try and stem the tide.
They want to work on the clock right now. The ball is at the 36-yard line, second down and 4. This play clock is going to kill me over here with the bulbs out on it. 2 wide right. Tailback gets it, goes right-hand side. Eagles driving back and
good
tackling.
job right there by Sloan, and he's trying to get the football back.
Sloan drove the back all the way back, and they'll down the ball
Eagles,
about
I think you want to burn a timeout here if you're Westmoreland.
You might.
But they are not.
They're going to spot the ball up to the 33-yard line, so he lost back to that point. This will bring up a 3rd down. Now, they're moving the ball again. They actually spotted it down, then they picked it up and moved it up closer to the 35.
Problem is the clock is running while they do all this. The clock is running. That's the problem. The clock is running while they do all this.
Down to 2:40.
The Eagles lost about 15 seconds right there while they fooled around and decided where they wanted the ball spotted.
Backs in the eye, 2 wide to the right. Richards taking all the time he can. 3rd down and 6. He's going to wait to the last second to snap it.
Won't be any danger of a delay of game.
Here's the snap, up in the middle, got a man there, Herring. Herring will push forward, and I believe he picked up the first down, Terry.
Yeah, he did.
Number 13, Eric Henry on the carry up the middle.
So between the placement of the ball and then taking time, the Eagles probably lost about a minute.
Yeah, it was a frustrating night over here. It's not going to be a fun ride back home unless something changes.
2:09 left to go in this football game. Richards brings him to the line. He'll work under center. Again, 2 wide right. Backs in the eye behind him. Going to take all the time he can. Clock goes underneath 2 minutes.
I'm still kind of mystified that the Eagles aren't using their timeout to at least preserve the clock, because now we're under 2 minutes. Oh, there's the ball on the ground.
And Richards able to get back on top of it. So that was a shot that the Eagles would have greatly benefited had they been able to get it. And the clock is still running.
And they called for timeout at 1:42, and a couple of other seconds ticked off of it.
I would think that the Eagles would be happy not to see this officiating crew show up on their sidelines the rest of the year.
I would think so. This is kind of like going into a casino. You know the odds are stacked against you, but you don't think they're this bad. you know
what, they've not done well on the Joe Byrns roulette wheel tonight.
No, they have not.
Two referees in the middle of the field, I think, are the ones that draw Coach Harris's ire, but they've not been on this near sideline enough where he could really get at him that much.
No.
Second down, 16. Richards steps up to the center. Two wide right, backs in the eye behind him. Waits the whistle. Here's the snap, handoff tailback up in the middle, that's Herring. Herring will be stacked up and pushed, still on his feet, still pushing forward.
Trying to strip the ball.
Will be down. He is not a very happy enough. Here comes the flag again.
And another flag.
1:25 and the clock
now
is still
what?
running.
When you throw a flag, the clock should stop. And now what is it?
So this ball is down at about the 46-yard line.
46.
Herring was down.
He
Let's
was.
see what the call is. I'm quite sure by everything that's happened tonight that we'll see it go against the Eagles.
Well, of course.
And from the way they're facing it,
Yep.
looks like what it's going to be.
They sure
Personal
are.
foul.
That's about, what, the sixth one?
That's got to be somewhere in that neighborhood.
I think I know now why the Eagles quit coming over here back in the early 80s.
This is the personal foul-a-thon tonight, I tell you. Now, granted, you're going to get some in the game. If you get high-strung, get high-tempered, plays, you know,
Sure.
you don't think they're going to, you're going to get
Sure.
a couple, but not just continuously.
But not six or seven.
There's
And
another
one.
one.
And another one.
This is just incredible.
It's amazing. Obviously, this one, somebody must have said something to the official.
Personal foul against Westmoreland.
And not sure who it was on.
Here we go, marching further downfield. 1:22 left to go in the game.
Could have been any of them because I'm sure they're all very frustrated at the way this is unfolded.
And the crazy thing about it is this is not that much of a difference in the game. The Eagles have played right there with this team. They've been very close.
Sure. I mean, it's been a game that, with one or two less penalties or one or two less turnovers, and they're winning this game.
Yeah, it could be going the other way. Richards brings them to the line, too wide to the right-hand side. I believe the Eagles have 2 timeouts left, if I'm not mistaken.
And they're now in victory formation. They are, looks that way.
Yeah, they got the big boys here in the backfield.
But the Eagles still have 2 timeouts left.
Now the quarterback, Richards, going to the sideline. Now he'll come back in. And over here on the sideline, there's some discussion with some of the Eagle players. They're swapping someone else into the game, I believe.
Somebody get ejected. Looks like some of the Eagle players, they may have been taken
They may have taken Corbin Kemp out of the game. Now there's still some confusion.
And Drew Gregory's on the sideline as well. I'm not sure if he got one of the personal foul penalties or what, but
Richards steps up. He's got the backs in the eye behind him. 2 wide to the right-hand side. He's letting as much time bleed off the clock as he can. We're down, getting close to going underneath a minute. And we got another whistle.
now what? And they call the timeout.
I tell you, Terry, this second half has taken quite a whopper of a time to play.
Yeah, it really has. The first half seemed like it went by. Of course, I was in computer Hades, but the first half seemed like it went by in about 25 minutes.
Zipped right on by. This half is really drawn out. So the coaches for the Westmoreland staff over here on the hash mark talking to their players. I'm sure they're going to use this as a learning experience. Some guys, no matter what's going on, no matter if the cards are against you, you got to not lose your cool.
Yeah, and
because it only goes downhill from there.
Yeah, I mean, you're really in kind of a no-win situation here when you're in this type. You need a miracle. You need a Joe Pisarcik type miracle if you're the Eagles right here. Well, it happened against the Eagles.
Yeah, it could happen against the Eagles right there. The Giants and the Eagles. I remember that well. It was a highlight reel for years and years.
Yeah, you remember who picked it up?
I can't remember who picked it up.
Herm Edwards.
Herm Edwards. former coach of the Jets. Down on the knee, and they may be able to run the clock out unless there's another timeout called.
They call timeout. Yep. No.
52. I think we're just going to let it run and let this game come to a close. The Eagles, I believe, have one more timeout, but I don't think they're going to opt to call it. 2nd down and 10 for Joe Byrns. And I tell you, the referees will need to keep some calm heads as this game expires and they go out to midfield to shake hands.
Yeah.
29
Probably
seconds.
already some people wondering where they park so they can go greet them in the parking lot.
Yes. 22 seconds. Richards looks to the sideline. The Eagles will be back at home next week.
And they burn another timeout with 15 seconds left.
So that's they're just going to let the clock run. That'll be the final score, 14-6. The Eagles go down to Joe Byrns. And the Eagles next week at home against Watertown. And Terry, you have to try to get back on the winning track next week against this Watertown team.
They really do. And, you know, that one's more important than this one because that's a district game. This was just a, you know, non-district game. And, you know, one you would have liked to have won, but wasn't in the cards tonight for the Eagles.
Well, maybe this will give the coaches something to work with next week, get this team fired up. Until then, everyone, this is Jim Latimer saying so long for Terry McCormick and myself on WHIN.